In the stillness of the early morning of May 11th, 2007, Columbia, South Carolina bore witness to one of the most audacious armored car heists in U.S. history. An Express Teller Services armored truck, loaded with $18 million, made an unscheduled stop at a Circle K gas station on Bluff Road. This deviation from protocol would set into motion a meticulously planned inside job that would leave a trail of betrayal, violence, and a manhunt spanning nearly a year. 6 young men, some college students, others employees of Express Teller Services, conspired to execute a heist that would net them nearly $10 million. It was just after midnight at a gas station off Bluff Road. An Express Teller Services armored truck sat loaded with $18 million. Inside the cab were David Jones and Daryl Frierson, a 21-year-old soft-spoken reliable employee, or so his employers thought. Across the lot, 2 figures moved like shadows: Dominic Lyde and Jeremy McPhail. Frierson had left the side door open, a mistake he'd later claim was under duress. Jones, the truck's security guard, stepped out to refuel. That's when the first blow came, quick and brutal, a pistol to the back of the head. No shots fired, but the message was loud and clear. Lyde and McPhail shoved the 2 men back inside and drove the truck to White House Road, a desolate strip of cracked pavement and thick woods off Bluff Road. Waiting there in the dark, wearing gloves and tied hoodies, were the Blackney brothers, Dominic and Kelby. The crew yanked open the armored doors and began unloading the money. Reports said it was just under $10 million, though some say it could have been more. It felt like Monopoly money, McPhail later told a friend. You get numb to it, just green paper after a while. Blackney and Kelby transferred the money from the truck into a different car, then left Jones and Frierson in the truck and fled. Despite his injuries, Jones was able to free himself and walk to a nearby nightclub to call the police. Frierson told police he was forced at gunpoint to drive, but investigators started to wonder, was the driver really a victim or the inside man? The heist was over, but the real story was just beginning, and in the streets the money was talking loud. Within days, local cops were catching wind of young guys flashing bricks of cash like rap videos. Strip clubs lit up with $100 bills raining from students barely out of their teens. One suspect dropped $5 grand on tattoos, while another gave his mama a Mother's Day envelope with stacks of fresh bills and a new cell phone. Sheriff Leon Lott of the Richland County Police Department shook his head as he held a press conference as stated, "They weren't hard to find. It's not every day someone in Darlington starts spending money like they hit the lotto." The Richland County Sheriff's Department in Columbia led a multi-agency investigation into the armored truck robbery, with support from law enforcement across South Carolina. Police placed a tracking device on Frierson's car, which revealed shopping trips and suspicious behavior. Police brought Daryl Frierson in for questioning, after also finding a blue latex glove inside the truck that matched one found in the trash outside his home. Investigators also discovered his connection to Paul Whitaker, an ETS employee, who broke down during questioning and confessed to the robbery plot, revealing it had been planned for months. Whitaker's specific role had been to delay responses to calls from the truck at ETS headquarters to buy the crew time to escape. Frierson was arrested after being tracked again, this time alongside another accomplice, Dominic Blackney, who also confessed and provided incriminating photos. More arrests came down, but one name remained off the radar: Dominic Lyde. For nearly 9 months, Lyde managed to avoid capture. As the FBI and U.S. Marshals hunted across multiple states, he remained out of sight, using aliases, changing phones, and avoiding places where he might be recognized. But in January 2008, everything unraveled, not because of a tip to law enforcement, but because of a personal argument that turned public. On the evening of January 17, 2008, officers with the Fayetteville Police Department responded to a domestic disturbance call at a motel off Bragg Boulevard. The caller reported yelling, door slamming, and an ongoing argument between a man and a woman. The woman involved in the dispute was reportedly a local dancer Lyde had been dating. Their argument, said to have begun earlier at a nightclub, escalated at the motel, drawing attention from staff and ultimately triggering the 911 call. Though Lyde had managed to evade capture for nearly a year, it was a domestic disagreement, not a tactical slip or major investigative breakthrough that led to his arrest. He was extradited to South Carolina shortly after and faced multiple charges, including armed robbery, kidnapping, assault, and criminal conspiracy. His arrest marked the final chapter in one of the most significant armored car heists in U.S. history. By the end of 2008, the express teller armored truck robbery had unraveled completely. On December 3, 2008, inside a South Carolina courtroom, the final chapter of the heist played out in front of a judge. The central figure, Darrell Frierson, the armored truck driver and inside man, stood before the court and pleaded guilty to all charges: armed robbery, kidnapping, criminal conspiracy, and assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature. He admitted his role in planning the robbery, misleading investigators, and working with his co-defendants to pull off the robbery. He was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. Dominic, who helped unload the money in the woods, also pleaded guilty and received a similar sentence. He had earlier given police a statement naming Frierson as the mastermind behind the plot. Kelby Blackney, Dominic's older brother, was sentenced to 25 years after admitting to assisting in transferring and hiding stolen money. Jeremy McPhail, a college student at the time of the heist, was also sentenced to 25 years. His role in the planning stages and help during the robbery made him a key conspirator. Paul Whitaker, the ETS employee who had pretended to be a victim but was later caught with stacks of stolen cash in his home, broke down during questioning and became one of the first to confess. Though he cooperated, he too received a 25-year sentence due to the seriousness of the offense. Dominic Lyde, the final man caught after a nearly year-long manhunt, offered no statement during sentencing. Prosecutors argued that Lyde had used a weapon, evaded capture for months, and remained a dangerous figure in the entire plot. He was given the maximum sentence, 25 years in federal prison, while authorities recovered roughly $4.1 million, nearly $5.7 million disappeared, untraceable, unspent, or stashed in places never disclosed. Defense attorneys argued that the young age of the defendants and the impulsive nature of their spending showed immaturity, not calculated villainy. Some had no prior criminal record, but the judge remained firm. The crime had been premeditated, coordinated, and involved violence and betrayal of public trust, and for that there would be no leniency. In the end, what began as a bold, almost cinematic heist ended like so many others, with handcuffs, courtroom tears, and a stack of prison sentences as heavy as the money they once stole.